We should just point out that Hamas is literally dedicated to the destruction of Israel. But listen,
but what does that mean?
Let me just
what
tell
does
you,
that mean that
well,
Hamas
I don't want
is
to get
dedicated?
into what the charter means.
Likud and Charter are dedicated to eliminating the Palestinian people. The coalition agreement of the current government does not recognize the Palestinian people. Does it mean to kill children? Well, if you think Hamas or any other political faction in Palestine are the cause of the conflict, think again. They are the product of the conflict. It is in our interest to bring an end to Israel's genocidal aggression in Gaza and the West Bank, and it is in our interest to bring an end to their occupation, colonization, and bring about finally the freedom of the Palestinian people and the dignity of the Palestinian people.
Mark Austin thought he was hosting an interview for Sky News, but what he got was a geopolitical beatdown in real time. Ambassador Husam Zomlot didn't just push back, he torched every twisted narrative Sky News tried to spin. While Mark parroted Israeli PR lines like a loyal intern at the IDF media wing, Ambassador Husam dropped names, dates, and ICJ ruling like it was Judgment Day. The double standards couldn't be clearer. When Palestinian children are bombed, Mark shrugs. When Hamas is mentioned, suddenly it's a moral crisis. This wasn't journalism. This was colonial gaslight. And for Ambassador, he turned the heat up until the mask melted off. See for yourself. Let's jump in.
Palestinian ambassador to the UK, thanks for being with us. So we've heard in Alistair's report there, the UN's top humanitarian affairs official has called on the Security Council, in his words, to prevent genocide in Gaza. Israel's ambassador to the UN says it is baseless, it is outrageous. Just first of all, what is your understanding of what is happening in Gaza?
Not only we should prevent genocide, the UN chief, the UN aid chief is absolutely right, spot on using the term genocide, because it is genocide, but we have failed the international community.
He's talking about preventing genocide.
He's wrong there. The international community has already failed, Mark, to prevent the genocide. What we need to do now is to stop the genocide and hold the war criminals to an account, particularly in light of the ICJ ruling and the ICC arrest warrant against Netanyahu and Gallant and other Israeli. This is a moment not to discuss Israel. Israel is blunt and clear. They are after eliminating, annihilating, exterminating the Palestinian people.
Well,
even the Israeli press last week quoted Netanyahu as saying this is the plan.
We should just point out that Hamas is literally dedicated to the destruction of Israel. But listen,
but what does that mean?
Let me just
what
tell
does
you,
that mean that Hamas
I don't want
is
to get
dedicated?
into what the charter means.
Likud and Charter are dedicated to eliminating the Palestinian people. The coalition agreement of the current government does not recognize the Palestinian people. Does it mean to kill children? Does it mean to starve an entire people? Let's stop talking about Hamas.
I just want to put to you, we had a Israeli government spokesman on the program 48 hours ago, long interview. I need to put some of the stuff to you. He says 1.8 million tons of aid went in before the blockade. It is only strengthening Hamas, who were taking much of it. He said they were using it or selling the aid. What would you say about that?
He's a war criminal. And to justify the starvation of people, Gaza has 2.3 million people. You know, Mark, half of them are children, 1.1 million children. They are depriving them of food, of medicine. They have killed 16,000 of our children. 18,000 are now orphaned. Tens of thousands are unaccompanied. Gaza has become the biggest home to the biggest cohort of children amputees. This is criminality at a new level.
Right.
This is not only atrocious, and I'll tell you, this is not just a dent in our humanity. Every one of us, I don't want to discuss Israeli officials. No, they have been lying all along.
I'm just putting to you what he said. I mean, on the bombing, he said, we strike them and we're condemned. He's talking about their target being Hamas, not civilians. We strike them and we're condemned. And then he said, we don't strike them and we are rewarding the use of human shields. I just wanted to put to you, those are the two things that he said.
You know very well, even your report just now, that they have killed innocent people, mostly children, in Jabalia and in these two hospitals. You know, this is a pattern from the Shifa. Remember the Shifa hospital, when they claimed that there was a Hamas headquarters, they went in, invaded, killed almost every patient, every medic, and then nothing was in that hospital. The same thing was repeated in all other hospitals. Go back to Netanyahu last week. Go back to the Israeli press. Read Haaretz. He said literally to a group of officers, they challenged him that your war has not achieved the goals, you have no strategy, you haven't defeated Hamas, you haven't brought back the hostages. Right. And guess what he said? These are his words. He said, I'm not there to do that. I'm there to destroy Gaza and to push all these Palestinians out of their home. So what are we discussing, Mark?
So
he
Hamas,
said that.
So Hamas is a badly damaged organization, clearly. What pressure can you, political pressure, can you bring on Hamas to release the hostages, which would clearly solve a lot?
There was enough pressure to produce a ceasefire agreement brokered by the US, Qatar, and Egypt. And you know, since the 2nd of March, who did break that ceasefire and imposed a blockade on Gaza? Until now, 3 months, nothing enters Gaza except bombs. You know the amount of bombs they are dropping on the heads of 1.1 million child in Gaza. So the only way to move forward is what President Trump has tried to do today in Doha, in Qatar, with his envoy Witkoff and the others. Yeah. And the one person who's putting the stick in the wheel of the globe is Netanyahu. And the globe is sitting on its hands, doing nothing.
But is there any political pressure the Palestinian authorities can put on Hamas to effectively remove Hamas, to make sure Hamas is removed from power? Because if that happens, then it is possible that the war would end.
That has already happened. We have agreed with all our partners to form a technocratic committee that has no political representation. Hamas doesn't exist there, Fatah doesn't exist, nobody that will take care of Gaza, be part of the Palestinian government for a period whereby the entire territory of Palestine, the West Bank, Gaza, including Jerusalem, is under one political system. That has had the consensus of the Arab world, and Hamas agreed on that. Israel is not interested in who governs Gaza. Yeah. Israel sees this opportunity to, and not just Gaza, by the way. This is not just annihilating Gaza. This is about the West Bank, Mark. Are you following what they're doing in the West Bank? Yeah. You're following in Jenin, in Tulkarem, and all over the place, displacing tens of thousands of people. The question, please, Mark, the question is about the international community. In such situations, go back to the UN aid chief. Did we manage to prevent this genocide and these atrocious attacks? Did we send international peacekeepers to protect these children in Gaza and in the West Bank? Yeah. At least, if we can do that, did we stop sending arms to Israel, the UK government
30
included?
Seconds left. 30 seconds left. Do you accept that it is in your interests, in the interests of Palestinians, to bring an end to Hamas in Gaza?
It is in our interest to bring an end to Israel's genocidal aggression in Gaza and the West Bank, and it is in our interest to bring an end to the occupation, colonization, and bring about finally the freedom of the Palestinian people and the dignity of the Palestinian people.
Do you accept it's in the interests of Palestinians to bring an end to Hamas in Gaza?
Well, if you think Hamas or any other political faction in Palestine are the cause of the conflict, think again. They are the product of the conflict. What we need to do is to uproot the root cause. So we don't talk about groups, we talk about a people and the state and the freedom and the future.
We've run out of time.
And there it is, Mark Austin, sitting comfortably in a studio asking the most staggering questions as if they exist in a vacuum, while Gaza lies in rubble right behind him. He lectures from a desk while Palestinian children sleep in graves and dares to question if genocide is justified. But Ambassador Husam Zomlot wasn't here to play that game. He flipped the table, exposed the moral bankruptcy of this media circus, and made it crystal clear that real terrorism is being live streamed, funded, and executed in broad daylight. When Mark fumbles to humanize the occupier, Ambassador Zomlot speaks for the voiceless, the amputated children, the starving families, the erased histories. Israeli's propaganda might still dominate airwaves, but it's losing the streets because now the world is, and no amount of sanitized headlines or Sky News spin can unsee what's being done to Gaza. The truth is louder than lies now. Don't forget to like and share, y'alls, and let me know down in the comment. And I'll see you guys down in the comments. Bye for now.